The Chicago Bears Soldier Field stands as the lowest-ranked stadium in the NFL, but things are about to change. But how does a $4.7 billion project transform a low-ranked venue into a world-class entertainment hub? A fixed translucent roof, 77,000 seats, including the standing room capacity, and year-round event hosting? That's just the beginning. But what is it really going to take to get there? And how will this massive overhaul affect the city's skyline and economy? And will it be the true game changer that fans are hoping for? Welcome to Big Builds. Today, we'll be talking about the spectacular details behind the renovation, from technical marvels and construction challenges to a potential economic boost for Chicago. Let's trace it back to 1924, when the Soldier Field was first opened in Chicago. It has been a historic home and the iconic part of the city landscape since then. However, as much as fans love its rich history and the nostalgia related to it, it has struggled to keep up with the growing demands for both the NFL and event-goers. Over the years, this stadium, well, it's faced criticism for its lack of modern facilities. It's uncomfortable, and it's got old seats, and its general incompetence in serving the growing sports industry. One of the biggest problems regarding the Soldier Field is its inadequate fan experience. With a seating capacity of only 61,500, it is ranked as one of the smallest and most congested stadiums in the whole NFL. For a franchise as large as the Bears, having one of the smallest venues in the league, well, it not only hurts the ticket sales, but it also holds the team back from hosting major league events such as playoff games, or it hinders their ability to create a premium atmosphere for fans. Other than that, there's cramped seating, outdated facilities, and poor sightlines in several sections of the stadium that has only added to fan frustration. Other than that, the Soldier Field is the least comfortable location for any event due to its exposure to Chicago's harsh weather. For those of you who are unaware, Soldier Field is an outdoor stadium, meaning that during the Chicago winter, spectators are subject to severe weather, such as strong winds, rain, or snow. This exposure makes the stadium unfavorable for late-season games, with fans avoiding to leave their homes, knowing that they'd have to face the harsh weather. The Chicago Bears have been planning about constructing a new stadium, or at the very least renovating the current one in order to satisfy the fans' expectations for years. Because of its small size and old design, a stadium like Soldier Field, well, it just can't compete with modern and cutting-edge stadiums. Soldier Stadium, it pales in comparison to the stadium upgrades made by most other clubs, such as the Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Rams, and Minnesota Vikings. In addition to having plenty of seats, the Bears intend to build a stadium with first-rate suites and VIP experiences. In addition to enabling the team to entertain more supporters, this modification would create additional revenue opportunities for special events and premium seating packages. The NFL of today, it wants to provide its fans an experience that they won't soon forget, which can only be achieved by building a state-of-the-art stadium with many uses. The current stadium at Soldier Field lacks the necessary amenities to provide an amazing experience for the people. If we talk about it from a broader perspective, Chicago desperately needs a multi-use stadium that can actually compete on an international level. Despite being one of the largest and most important cities, Chicago, well, it's failed to host major events like the Super Bowl, international soccer tournaments, and NCAA Final Four. The primary reason? The outdated and inadequate nature of Soldier Field. Now, the stadium is planned to have 65,000 permanent seats, but what makes it a total game changer is its ability to expand to 77,000 seats for major events. This flexibility, it means that Chicago would be able to compete with other massive stadiums. Imagine the thrill of a packed house during a Super Bowl, or the electric atmosphere of a sold-out concert featuring a top international artist. This stadium is designed to deliver just that. Installing a permanent translucent roof will be one of the greatest improvements, since it would protect fans from Chicago's severe weather and ensure their comfort. It would still let in enough natural light to give you the impression that you're sitting outside at the stadium. A climate control system will also be installed in this stadium, ensuring year-round comfort for both players and spectators. This system will provide you with the most comfortable temperature possible, regardless of the weather, whether it's a hot summer day or a cold winter night. Now, this massive upgrade is not going to be without challenges. This would involve weather alongside other technical issues. The roof of the stadium is going to be a technological feat, combining strength and beauty. In order to let in natural light, the roof must be both lightweight and durable enough to withstand snow and rain. This will not be a simple matter, since the roof must be long-lasting. It must be composed of cutting-edge materials that can tolerate the unpredictable weather of Lake Michigan. If you are familiar with Chicago's gale force winds, you must be aware of the fact that they can reach above 40 miles per hour. In order to combat that problem, high-quality and long-lasting materials would be required to construct the roof. The new Soldier Stadium is planned to break ground in 2025, with its completion by 2028. Now, this timeline feels a bit aggressive, but it is achievable with consistency and enough resources. The infrastructure for this renovation plan is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 focuses on the requirements for the stadium's opening, including transportation improvement, roadways, and utilities. This would cost around $325 million. In the next phase, the focus would shift to optimizing the stadium and the campus surrounding it, which would cost around $510 million, expanding the bus depot along with the addition of perks and playfields. In the final phase, there would be a further enhancement in the campus, including public attractions, which would carry an estimated cost of $665 million. The construction phase would be divided into 4 phases. In the first phase, the demolition of the existing structure would be carried out. It would involve clearing out the surrounding areas of Soldier Field as well. This phase is extremely important for making way for the new construction, and it'll include environmental assessments and site preparation. You can expect heavy machinery and extensive labor as the old gives way to the new. The next phase would focus on the foundation and structural work. This includes the intricate engineering required to build the translucent roof, which will be a defining feature of the new stadium. Crews will also be arranging seating for the 65,000 permanent seats, with preparations for further expansion to 77,000. This phase will involve significant groundwork and the erection of the stadium's skeleton, setting the stage for the grand structure to rise. Next, our focus will shift to interior work. This would include installation of modern facilities in order to improve the overall fan experience. From enhanced sound systems to high-definition screens, this phase will ensure that the stadium meets the highest standards of comfort and entertainment. The final phase will involve landscaping and integrating the stadium with the surrounding lakefront. This aspect is vital, not just for aesthetics, but for enhancing accessibility and promoting community engagement. The design will include green spaces, public pathways, and areas for gathering, ensuring that the stadium is a welcoming addition to the city landscape. The modifications are anticipated to reduce event exit times by 10 to 20 minutes, enhance campus capacity for events by 50%, and alleviate 1,200 vehicle hours of traffic congestion at the intersection of DuSable Lake Shore Drive and McFetridge Drive on a daily average. The new stadium is expected to be situated just south of the existing Soldier Field. Now, this is not an ordinary placement. It aims to retain the iconic views of Chicago's Bank Coast. Apart from being aesthetically pleasing, the location, well, it's also accessible. Being close to the city center, this is going to make the fans reach the stadium easily using public transportation. Another important feature of this plan is that it promises to retain Soldier Field's historic gallery. This historic gallery is extremely important to Chicago's rich history, and preserving them would create a bridge between the past and the future of the stadium. Manica Architecture, a company known for its work on well-known stadiums, including Wembley in London and Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, will be in charge of the new stadium's design. Their expertise will guarantee that the new stadium is both architecturally coherent with the current Chicago skyline and that it's state-of-the-art. Sustainable design principles will also be incorporated into the architectural blueprints, guaranteeing the stadium's environmental friendliness and its energy efficiency. This stadium, well, it supports Chicago's transition to a greener future while still being in line with current urban development trends. It is projected that the Chicago Bears Stadium makeover will provide $92 million annually to the city's economy. Increased tourism, the staging of important athletic events, and the general improvement of the local hotel industry are anticipated to generate this financial inflow. It is expected that 43,000 jobs will be created throughout the project's building phase. There will be plenty of job prospects for locals in these roles, which will include skilled tradesmen, engineers, and construction workers. In addition to helping the labor force, This job growth benefits nearby companies that provide supplies and services to the building site. According to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, the use of public funds for stadium renovation is not exactly a good idea, but despite his skepticism, he has shown his willingness to explore other funding options to prioritize the welfare of the taxpayers. The concept of a publicly owned stadium is a key component of the updated plan, which attempts to guarantee that the state's and city's financial investments directly benefit the general welfare. Residents will have a say in the planning process thanks to the emphasis on community participation, which guarantees that their wants and concerns are taken into consideration. With an incredible $4.7 billion budget, the new Chicago Bears Stadium aims to dramatically transform the way fans watch games. This is about building a cutting-edge venue that hosts numerous other activities all year long, not just football. This stadium will transform into a magnificent example of contemporary architecture in Chicago by enhancing the whole fan experience. The city is expected to get $92 million a year from the project, which may be used to fund community services, infrastructure, and local projects. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Chicago Bears Stadium, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you don't miss any future videos. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop a comment on what you're most excited about for this new stadium, or if there's any other big project you want us to cover. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Big Builds.